What is up? I'm Simo, this is All You Can Friend, and this video is going to be about how can we move tension out of our friendships and get to a place of real, pure ease, harmony, open truth. Let's bring it on. Reverse! I'm in this situation right now where I've decided to try and work through a lot of different things. Let's speed it up, man!
I'm waiting for you!
Right. I'm trying to work through a lot of different things simultaneously at the moment with different people. There's a friendship that broke down a while ago. There's been the end of a romance. There's been a recent pseudo-romance, and I want to kind of work through these things, and they're all coming at the same time, and it's a little bit overwhelming. And so I'm like, whoa, what's going on here? I love to make sure that I'm naming and working through difficult things with people. And at the moment it's feeling a little bit too much. And so what can we do about this? I think one crucial thing is to think about not overloading ourselves too much, because taking too much on too soon isn't going to allow us to give the best quality to any of these issues. And so which ones do you want to start with first? Are there any relationships you've got in your life right now where you're like, there's something that's unspoken here and I might want to work on it? If you notice one of those things, there's a few things you can ask yourself. Do you want to have this conversation? Take it slow. Notice for a while. What's happened here in this interaction? How has it affected me? What is really the truth of what's going on here? We can tell ourselves stories and we can feel self-righteous and we can feel like we're right. But if we can take a little moment and think, what's this other person's perspective? What's going on for them? We can sometimes begin to see that most interactions are a two-way street and both people had a part to play. Where can we build more understanding? And then perhaps it's time to jump in and say, hey person, are you open to having this conversation? I've been reflecting and I'd love to share out of care for our relationship, out of a desire to get to more harmony. Would you be up for having this conversation? Ding, 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 ding. One way to work with little things is something in authentic relating we call a withhold. And that can just be like, hey, I've got a withhold. It's something I've not been naming, but I'd really like to talk about. Would you be up for speaking about that with me? And on those, there's a little structure that we can use, and it's like you ask if someone's open to hearing the withhold, and if they say yes, you go ahead and share it, with the response being a naming from that person of how it felt to hear you share that, and then you can talk through that thing together. We have a free downloadable guide to get you from where you are now to a place of connection, friendship, community fast. There's actionable worksheets in there, things you can do to transform your life amazingly quickly. So check it out, click the link and let us know how it goes for you. If it's bigger than that, then it's a bigger thing than just a withhold, and you might want to you might want to use a longer process, in which case there's perhaps a need to not just like lie this straight on top of a person. Often we really want to talk about something and we go straight in, hey, there's this thing I want to talk about, it's this, it's this, it's this. That can be a bit, A, it's just a lot to lay on someone immediately, and B, that might not land well because timing is important. And so rather than jumping in with a thing, make a request to talk about the thing without laying it down on the person straight away. There's this thing I want to talk to you about. It feels important. I wonder if we can find a time and a place that works for both of us to have the conversation. When you've found that agreed time and place, then you can sit down and have the conversation. And there's a framework that works really well for this, which is quite well known, called non-violent communication, and it has 4 parts to it for the structure of how that works. And I find it really can reduce the likelihood of the conflict or the difficulty blowing up further, and rather can help keep us in a place of just naming our experience, listening to the other person's experience, and attempting to build empathy for both people involved. And I think that's a crucial part to working through difficulties, is really having the desire, the true desire to understand one another. And non-violent communication can be really useful for that. And we'll do a little video on non-violent communication soon, but to give you a really brief overview, the 4 steps of non-violent communication are noticing the objective truth of what happened. What was the observation? Naming the feeling around the thing. How did you feel when that thing happened? naming the need. What need do you have in relation to, in your life around this thing? And finally, making a request. So, hey, when you said that thing to me, I felt sad. I have a need in my life for people, for my friends to show care for me and to show curiosity when I'm expressing something. Would you be open to doing that in future? This is one example of many that could be given for non-violent communication. That's all for now on how to bring more harmony into your relationships by naming difficulties, bringing them into your relationships in a way that is not just laying it down, but rather finding the right time, finding the empathy, finding the connection, and working collaboratively with your friends, your connections to build harmony. Thank you very much. This has been All You Can Friend. You've been wonderful. See you next time.